くり目を閉じて私に身を委ねてください。聞こえていますか？あなたに送るリクエム私を見に来てくれたのですか？
Hey guys, what's going on? Valk here, and we just got the information on Requiem Roana. Now, before I go into breaking down any of her infos, the code for this current box that should be in your mailbox right now, if you're watching at the time of release, is Requiem. I'll throw that up on screen. With that being said, let's just jump into it. Requiem Roana is going to be an Aquarius Mage, which is some of the highest attack as well as decent bulk, like some of the best defense, but like not great HP, not great speed, and in terms of like crit, not so good, but with a bit of effectiveness. But her number one gimmick means she probably doesn't need to be CR pushed a lot. At max Mola, anytime the front unit, meaning, you know, if you're playing in a formation of 4 units, you should have a unit that's in the front slot, right? In PvE, that's going to be the unit that takes the most aggro, and that's your front slot unit. So your front unit is going to determine her speed. Every time your front unit takes a turn, she's going to be CR pushing herself by 100%. And they can only activate once per turn, meaning she's only going to get 1 push. So if you have to play against a Politis or something, and your front unit extra turns, you are only going to get 50 CR. So Politis does hold her back quite a bit. So she's going to be a very unique unit. This is a unit you're going to build no speed on, and you're going to be relying on your front unit to give you all your speed. Which leads us into her S3. This is an AoE attack that increases cooldown by 1 turn, no strip mind you, decreases combat readiness by 30%, so really good utility. Cannot trigger a critical hit, and penetrates defense. Oh, okay, I see where she's going with. Increases damage dealt every time the skill is used, stacking up to 3 times. So, okay, I think I understand how this unit works. This is going to be a 5 turn, once you Mola, it's going to be 4 turn in terms of cooldown. Good utility, increased cooldown, reduced combat readiness, but doesn't go through immunity, which tells me if you have a immunity strip unit like a Sea Lilius, a Peyra, or even something like a Green Bazaar, Fairy Tale Tenebria, they're going to be really nice for her in the front spot. You know, press your S3 or press your strip on your front unit, Roana pushes up 100% CR, you're going to be increasing cooldowns and then push back. Pretty nice. Damage is going to look kind of, I'm guessing the damage is not great because the utility is pretty good. But it is going to be stacking up to 3 times. We have no idea how much damage it deals, and we have no idea how much it stacks, which, you know, just like Smaugate. So as a DPS unit, especially one that does true damage, we have no idea how good this unit will be until we've probably either data mined her or gotten her in our hands and we gotta test her. Really simple, Roana's S1, 65% chance once max Mola, 75 to decrease defense for a turn. Cannot trigger a critical hit, so she's going to be a unit that builds absolutely no crit at all whatsoever. Successful attack deals additional damage proportionate to caster's attack. Huh. I guess what this is she just has a built-in, Spear of the New Dawn, like a Senya artifact. And then on top of that, okay, her Tensile Soul Burn is you can increase effect defense break chance to 100%, and then decrease defense for 2 and then extend it to 2 turns. Okay. So this unit sounds like she's just going to fit in really naturally with a lot of fast openers. Although I will say, the one thing that I think that's not being talked about is how good she is with stealth or tanky units in the front slot. Because think about it, if you throw in something like a Leica or even a Lua, for example, right? And you don't hit your guiding light off your first turn, and that unit just gets run over, I think Roana just gets her legs broken, right? And then you just kind of fall apart in a longer fight. But if you're able to throw her together with something like a Peyra, tankier Conqueror Lilius, or maybe even just like a Mediator Choleric, right? Something that's just not gonna die, reasonably speaking. You take a lot of turns, and on a 4-turn cooldown, you're looking to really just cycle that S3, stack it up to 3 times, and use it to end the game, which is cool. I think she's a very different unit. I think the biggest hurdle to playing her is, one, you're just not going to have the gear for her, right? I was looking through my gear. This is every single attack set gear on my account, which is going to be Roana's best set. I'm literally looking through every single piece, and there is not a single piece that I have that either don't have a, crit damage, crit chance, speed on it, right? Those are 3 dead stats to ML Roana, and every single attack set piece I have include 2 of, if not all 3 of those stats. So I'm guessing unless you're a real, I don't know, like OG carrot fanatic or attack set pirate Captain Flan farmer, nobody's gonna have this set of gear. So she's going to be really ridiculous to farm from scratch. I think that's gonna be the number 1 problem playing her. Number 2 problem is her damage doesn't start great, but you know whose damage does? Aiden, as well as now she's being buffed, Little Queen Charlotte. These units are gonna eat her up right away. So she's going to have some meta matchup issues, but it seems like she's a unit that has really interesting matchups, as well as a very interesting way to the way she's played. So we'll have to see how she performs when she comes out. As always, any damage unit, it is literally impossible to say how well they perform until, one, we see the data mines to see how much damage they're actually doing with the gear we give them, and 2, you really just need to play them and see if there's something in like an interaction in the meta that you're not seeing, and I think that's really important. While the S3 animation is really gorgeous, taking a sneak peek at this damage here, it's looking like after a 30% absorption with the default set of gear, which I don't know why people seem to think like this gear is always staged, right? I'm saying this with air quotes. You can't see it because I got the VTuber model out, but like, people think this damage is staged. Like, if they're going to stage some damage, why wouldn't they make this damage look good? Because this damage looked like it's pretty terrible. So first S1, no attack buff, about 5,000 damage. This might be a lot better with attack buff, but overall, it seems like a very big risk, right? So I'm not very impressed with the damage. Hopefully that scaling up value is good. But for now, I remain to be impressed by this damage, especially if you consider how hard that gear is to farm. So this is one of those units where I think if you're waiting for her, I would just prefer pulling Last Rider Crow from the Mystics summons right now. I think Last Rider Crow is really good in this meta. Last Rider Crow is even really good into Requiem Roana herself. So definitely recommend him over her, just going by the eye test if you like to take my word for it. Otherwise, you can always save up and then just let the streamers be your guinea pig and test her out for you. But as far as things look, I'm personally not too impressed. Coming alongside with Requiem Roana in 2 weeks, this patch will also feature the new June balance adjustment. I already gave my thoughts on these units and their buffs and their effect on the meta. If you are interested in seeing that, I'll be leaving the link in the description down below. After that, we'll be getting the side story rerun with Summer Break Charlotte, meaning only one thing. Once we get this, and this is 2 weeks out, because these 3-week side stories usually gets reran in 2 weeks. After that, we should be getting the truck driving Summer Luluka with Hamster Violet. I don't know about you guys, I'm pretty excited for that one, so can't wait for that. That should be coming in 2 more weeks then. After that, we got background battling improvements. This is the ultimate, yeah, I asked for this. Oh my god, I can't believe we are actually getting this. Being able to use background battling throughout Adventure Side Story and have it count towards the achievement for weeklies, dailies, and guild weeklies. Woo, okay, yes, this should have been here in the first place, but better late than never, and I'm never gonna complain that we are getting something for our accounts. Yes, sir. After that, we should also be getting new summoning animations for when we hit a 5-star. This is also something that I think should have been coming. You know, Epic 7 is like a, what, 4 or 5 year old gacha game now. Nowadays, I think the summoning experience look really clean for a variety of newer gacha games. And you know, E7's art department has never been slacking, so having this get updated is gonna look real clean. Yeah, that's gonna be a welcome change. After that, World Arena Battle Frenzy adjustment. Okay, this is oh boy, where do I start with this? I think the number one thing to note is that, first of all, mage speed is going to be removed, so no more +7 mage speed. On top of that, it looks like we're also getting a shuffling towards a faster frenzy, as well as the games being sped up a little bit more. Now, a lot of people are going to say, I see this, like, you know, 7 turns taken, my units are going to lose 5% of their health max. I think in a lot of cases, if you just look at it as a snap reaction, it's going to look really bad for tank down players, right? Players that usually play hard tank too. And I think it's not that bad. Normally speaking, right, if you are against a cleaver or an aggro player, the 7 turns, bro, they're never going to make it to 7 turns anyways. You know what I mean? When you get cleaved, if your opponent doesn't beat you by turn 4 or turn 5, they've already lost, right? And if they do beat you by turn 4 or turn 5, then, you know, you're not really losing 5% max HP. Plus 5% is not that big anyway. I think the number one thing this early HP loss is hitting on is in the early to mid stages of any RTA games, it really punches out the viability and like the power level of where units such as a Ravi, Shu, Ed, and Last Rider Crowd goes. These units have been really strong the past few patches. So taking out a little bit of the HP scaling for these HP scaling units, I think could go towards moving towards a more a faster paced and more action-filled meta. So this is mostly going at the HP bruisers. And that's kind of our frenzy changes we're getting for this season. It says that it will undergo changes, but I don't know, you know, you never know, right? Because everything until the season starts is subject to change. I hope they experiment with things that are more interesting, but as things go, I think this just makes game speed a little bit faster, even for tank down players like turn 2 players versus turn 2. You'll hit higher frenzies a little bit faster, which also means higher frenzy scaling units will also be more powerful. So units that scale with both attack and effectiveness, like Carrot and Pirate Captain Flan, these units are going to be better, like way faster. Okay, after that is going to be all of the banners we're getting. We still, from the time of this video's release, we still have a week left on Abigail. Abigail, if you weren't here for the stream, I think she's a very interesting unit. She's a fun unit. She's not particularly strong, but she has a very interesting kit. So if you're very creative with how you use her, I think there's a lot of fun compositions you can do. She's a very fun unit, that's absolutely for sure, but the real prize of this banner is on Golden Rose. Golden Rose is ridiculously good on any HP scaling bruisers. So if you haven't heard, Golden Rose is basically Sigurd Scythe, but better for HP bruisers. I've been noticing it's very good on both Shu, Alencia. I don't like it so much on Ravi because she already heals a lot, but Abigail herself, you can even use it on Lionheart Sirmia, you can use it on Lone Crescent Bellona, as well as Edward Elric. I think all of these are viable units. So if you're lacking Sigurd Scythes on your account, this is just a better Sigurd Scythe for most warriors. After that, we got Politis and Knowledge Seed. Politis is kind of a staple unit. If you're a newer player and you're looking to play a lot of PvP, I think Politis is a must-have. Her passive's just too good. She holds opponent's CR push by 50%. And then on top of that, if you play aggressively at all, that S2 is a massive landmine that's going to body a lot of defensive players. And, you know, on the opposite end, that S2 for slower players is going to be a massive landmine versus cleavers. Overall, very, very high tier PvP unit, even though she hasn't been as dominant as she's been in past seasons. After that, Green Charles and Justice for All. This one I don't really think matters, but if you like Green Charles, there you go. After that, we're getting Summer Break Charlotte back alongside Mature Sunglasses. Summer Break Charlotte herself getting a very nice buff going into this patch. I think the verdict is still out, so going to have to see how strong she becomes, but I think she definitely becomes quite a bit stronger, and Mature Sunglasses is essentially Draco Plate, but for knights. So any carry knight, any warrior, any knight that's supposed to be a solid bruiser is gonna love Mature Sunglasses. It's a very good artifact. Lastly, on June 22nd, we'll be getting Requiem Roana with General Purgus. I don't know about you guys, but I don't have enough mystics saved. I kind of got robbed on MLK Ron, so that's gonna be a tough one for me. So good luck to you guys. And that's gonna be it from me for today. Let me know how you guys feel about Requiem Roana. She looks like a very interesting unit, but I feel like in execution, her gear as well as how she actually plays feels a little awkward to execute on. But she's very different, and I like units that are different and they're interesting. Like, for example, Abigail's one of them. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you guys want to have like deeper discussions with high ranked players, you can always pop in the Discord. For now, that's gonna be it from me for this video. Hope to see you guys in the next one, and stay safe out there. Take it easy, guys. Yeah, see ya.